It's gonna get hot and sexy. We're reacting to the weird censored Pokemon facts that you didn't know. So prepare for hot sexiness. Here we go.
Most Pokemon games.
What the hell is Oh, I have a playback speed of 0.25. Why do I have that? That's so weird.
Feature the Fisherman Trainer class as a way
Okay.
to show off some Pokemon that can be obtained through fishing. There's nothing weird about that, but did you know that in the Japanese versions of Gold and Silver, the Fisherman class has what looks like a cigarette in his mouth? This
Wait,
was
what?
removed in the international version.
Oh, you can see it. Yeah, it's right there. Oh, he's smoking. We can't have that in a children's game, encouraging smoking. I can't believe that. That drove many 4-year-olds down the tobacco highway.
Game and is one of the more obscure forms of censorship to happen in a Pokemon game. Today we'll talk more about censorship in Pokemon.
I understand
from
why they
the
took it out,
games
though.
To anime to everywhere else, some of which you might not even know before, so stay tuned. We'll talk
Dude, she's
more
so
about
blue.
weird sprites like the Fisherman sprite later, but did you know that there's a lot of censored Pokemon cards?
Wait, before you get into the Pokemon cards, what is weird about this? What is wrong about this? Let's see if you've ever noticed this. I'm gonna test you right now. Have you ever noticed that the Pokeball opens brokenly? It opens the way that it's not supposed to. The red is supposed to have the little bally connecty part, but it is upside down. It's wrong. It's supposed to have it on the red part, but it's not. It has it on the white part here, which is wrong. It's always
For
been wrong.
example, we have this Grimer from the Team Rocket set that is peering out of the sewer with some people walking by. If you notice in the Japanese version of this card art, though, Grimer's eyes are looking up towards a...
He's upskirting, man. Come on. This doesn't even look like an adult. This looks like a child. Come on, Grimer. I know you're a creep, but this is a little bit too far, isn't it?
girl's skirt,
Don't
which is why I
upskirt.
decided to change it for the English version, so he's looking straight on instead. Reasons like this are mainly why cards got censored when they were translated, like this card, Misty's Tears, which has a very different artwork in Japanese. For some
That's cute.
reason, instead of just having a crying Misty comforted by a Squirtle, they have a crying Misty holding a Staryu while she's naked. There's
What? Why? That's a 12-year-old Japan. I know some people are a little bit weird about that stuff over there. I know that the average age, the age of consent is like 14, but this is a little bit strange.
There's the
isn't it?
Moo Moo Milk card art too from the Neo Genesis set that looks fine when you look at the English art. Then there's
But in the Japanese art, you can see a person actively milking a milk tank, and the milk tank is like, oh,
the
sugoi.
Japanese art, and there's just a lot to unpack here.
What? Whoa. I was kidding. I was joking when I said, whoa, what is, okay.
I don't know if I'm even allowed to show this image on YouTube,
Ayo.
but we have a Centrit lying down and getting Moo Moo Milk directly from the source.
Can I
Sabrina's
commission
game
that?
art was censored too, with the Japanese version showing it standing in a cemetery and the English version just having this white hollow foil background with not much to it. Religious
No, he's in space. Look at him. He's like, yeah, look at me, just hanging out, just in space. Went to Uranus. It's kind of boring there.
symbols in general tend to be censored a lot in Pokemon,
Smells
whether
terrible,
it's
though.
the games, the video games, or anything. Like the Sage sprite in Gold and Silver, as well as Heart Gold and Soul Silver. The Japanese versions of the
It looks like he's
original
doing
Gold and
that.
Silver games of the Sage appears to be praying, while the international releases have his arms folded. In Heart
He just
Gold and
looks
Soul
angry.
Silver, the Japanese and international sprites showcase the Sage holding what looks like prayer beads. This seems like something that would have been removed or at least altered for the American releases. However, it was only censored in the Korean version of the game to remove
What?
the prayer beads. The weirder
Why?
thing about that is that in Pokemon Gold and Silver, the sprite for the
So he's just punching the air? He's like, fuck you, air! I hate you!
Median is also holding prayer beads in the Japanese version, but those prayer beads were censored for the American release roughly a decade before Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out. Pokemon
So the prayer beads are the problem. I don't even know what the prayer beads do, but the woman having like an exorcism while ghosts literally vacate her body and her mind completely shatters, that's fine. The prayer beads? No, we gotta get those out of here.
has some religious references too, and you can find some statues of Diglets in the Celadon City apartment building. Now,
It's a sculpture of a Diglett? Oh, so it's a dildo.
Diglets, to my knowledge, aren't very religious, but in the Japanese version, these Diglet sprites look very differently and are actually supposed to be Buddhist altars. Also,
Oh,
for
that's
Pokemon
cool.
Red and Blue's international releases, the Lavender Town theme was altered a little bit. There's a lot of stories behind Lavender Town in general, but the main reason why the Lavender Town theme was changed for international releases was to make it sound less creepy for kids and because of rumored reports that children would get headaches from the high pitch of the original theme.
I think it was just mass hysteria. I think it was some kids saw that people were getting headaches and they were like, oh, my head hurts now. Oh. I think the same thing for the Porygon. It was
Then
mass
in Pokemon
hysteria.
Gold and Silver, Lavender Town was given a much more cheerier theme overall and had a major overhaul in the entire city to give it a very different feel from the Lavender Town from Red and Blue. In Pokemon Gold and Silver, the Japanese versions call the bike shop the Miracle Cycle Shop, which persists in Pokemon
Miracle
Gold and
Cycle?
Silver as well. For some reason,
It's a miracle he even sold any of the bicycles, considering it was 1 million Pokebucks per bike, which is capitalism gone mad.
though, the name was removed in the international versions of the game, so the bike shop just doesn't have a proper name. I don't know why they would do that for the bike shop, but if you're still watching, then chances are you're enjoying this video, so consider leaving a like and subscribing for more Pokemon videos.
You betcha I
In
will. I'm gonna
Pokemon Diamond
smack
and
that like
Pearl,
button
the
right now.
Wave Library
And I'm gonna subscribe to Papacy. Watch. Whoop. Oh, I'm already subscribed. Well, you should subscribe to Papacy right now.
infamously has a book depicting people marrying Pokemon in the olden days.
Oh, it's
This
hot.
was censored in the international
terrible.
releases to
Bad.
just
So
say
bad.
people and Pokemon used to sit down at the same table and eat together.
Right.
Also in
I mean, isn't sitting down and eating together basically getting married? I've gotten married so many times.
Diamond and Pearl and Platinum as well, some dialogue was changed in the game corner to comply with Peggy's new rating standards at the time regarding gambling in video games released in Europe. So they had to tone down the gambling references as much as possible in a casino, which is a bit odd. Peggy's new rating standards are also a big reason why gambling and game corners in general don't really appear in Pokemon games anymore.
No, they got shut down. Damn you, regulations!
In the Japanese versions of Pokemon Red and Blue, the Mew journals found in Cinnabar Island imply that a single person discovered Mew as a
Mew gave birth. It was very bloody. Lots of screaming. Not a good birth. We did a water birth, though.
use of the Japanese pronoun watashi, which just translates to I. In the international versions, it was changed to say we instead, which was most likely changed to fit more with the first Pokemon movie showing multiple scientists work on and discover Mew and Mewtwo.
We named the newborn Mewtwo. I'm the father. I fucked
Generation 5
Mew.
introduced some censoring when it comes to Pokemon nicknames. This was to prevent people from giving Pokemon inappropriate nicknames, then trading them off online. However, they didn't
It's fine. I mean, like, you know, it's not to worry about.
take into
Yeah, okay, maybe you
consideration
should
the
ban
fact
that.
some
Never mind.
Pokemon have inappropriate words that just happen to appear in various parts of their names, like Kofagrigus, Frostlass, and Nosepass.
Wait, okay, I know Kofagrigus. Frostlass? Frostlass. Ostlass? Frostlass? Oh, ass! And Nosepass. Oh, ass!
Now for some more sprites that were censored.
Kofagrigus one is really unfortunate, though. Let's be honest with that.
The bulk of these come from Generation 2, like the beauty sprite who is winking and has a shorter skirt in the Japanese versions. The girl
Dude, short skirt, more like non-existent. Jesus Christ, there was so much leg there.
swimmer
I'm not complaining, by the way.
who is also winking, since winking just isn't allowed outside of Asia, I guess. The
Yeah, winking's just not allowed because winking implies sexuality because winking is an inherently sexual thing to do, just like blinking, which is why for the remainder of this video, I will not blink because that will be a sexual harassment if I do that.
Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, who didn't have pupils in the Japanese version. Kind of creepy looking.
Oh,
if you
that's
ask me.
epic.
The Psychic Trainer class in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald had her arms spread out a bit more because it looked like she was trying to grab something. The Sailor in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald is now giving a thumbs up in the international versions as opposed to it looking at you like you just cut him off on the highway.
Wait, he just looks more buff in the USA version. His biceps are insanely inflated. Oh my god, look at them. They're huge.
And the male Cool Trainer changed his hairstyle. This one really isn't
What?
censoring. I just thought it was really weird how of all things they decided to change,
That is
this
so
guy's
strange.
hair was one of them. The PI Trainer class was also famously changed from being a gamer or gambler in the Japanese versions, much like how the Gamer Trainer class from the original Red and Blue was actually a gambler in the Japanese version. Now for sprites of
I want to say, for the Gambler Training class, the Let's Go games had a massive W on this because they made the Gambler Training class use only one-hit KO moves, or primarily one-hit KO moves, because they're gamblers. High risk, high reward. I thought that was really cool, and I want them to implement more stuff like that, because having training classes use specific types of things or be really cool and unique is a very epic idea.
actual Pokemon.
Big
many
W
of
for
the
Let's
Gen
Go.
2 Pokemon Pokemon sprites were changed, and maybe in the future we can look at general Pokemon changes between the Japanese versions and international.
Why does this version of Feraligatr just looks like he has a really bad back? He's like, oh god, oh it hurts, Jesus Christ.
Of these Pokemon games. But for now, let's just focus on the ones that were changed for censorship reasons and not just random subtle changes for no real reason. First, there's Jinx. I'm sure you all know about this one, but if I didn't mention Jinx,
Justin
I'm sure
Trudeau,
a lot of people
the
would in the
Pokemon.
comments. And no Pokemon sprites were censored in Generation 3, but one was in Generation 4, and it was Regiseal.
Oh, no. Yeah,
This one was censored in the non-English European releases of the game
those
to have
views.
its arms down, as the stance was
Ikarunis.
eerily similar to a stance that some no-no Germans would do in the 20th century.
This is why Regirock is better.
I do also want to point out that despite them censoring some things that are deemed to be too sexual, like winking, they never censored Feraligator's Generation 3 sprite, as every release of the game shows its butt crack. At least in Generation 4 they cropped it, so you can't see Feraligator's butt no more. Now I don't know if this is a result of censorship, but I always thought it was weird that naming an item that restores PP Ether in the English versions didn't make much sense. The Japanese name for either.
Yeah, what the hell what does ether mean? I thought ether was just like a void. Like you go into the ether? What does it even mean?
Makes a whole lot more sense, but something about a kid's game letting you get an item called PP Aid probably didn't go over too well with the team responsible for localizing the game. So
oh, come on, you have PP Up and PP Max. I don't want to hear PP Aid being bad.
I understand the name change. This one is one of my favorites too, and one I reference a lot, but in the Generation 1 Pokemon games, that man who blocks you from leaving Viridian City until you deliver Oak's parcel back to him,
I remember this one.
Passed out drunk in the Japanese version and not letting you pass.
He just had a good night,
In the English versions, it says something about him being cranky about not having his coffee yet, and when he sobers up, he shows you how to catch a Pokemon. The Pokemon
He just had a night out on the toon, and he's a little bit hungover. Just get him some paracetamol in a full English, he'd be right.
They also had a lot of censorship over the years, but some of my favorites include Giovanni having his wine glass changed to be just a regular drinking glass with juice, just what every
come
evil leader
on,
of a
man. You think kids are gonna look at the wine glass and be like, I want to drink wine now, as opposed to looking at the juice glass and be like, I want to drink juice now? Come on, man.
And a similar thing happened to Professor Kukui and Professor Burnett's wine glass.
Oh my god! Let them their parents drink wine. You think the 4-year-old goes to a wedding, everyone's like, oh, let's make sure to drink juice because we don't want to drink wine in front of the kids.
In the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime, which were changed to be mugs. They still had juice in it though, even though they
whoever
were
changed them are the real mugs.
Tea or coffee, which
let
made
them
a bit
drink.
More sense. There's also the famous examples of food being censored in the Pokemon anime for some reason. In the Japanese anime, they depict Japanese foods like onigiri, but in the English anime, it'll be a jelly donut or a sandwich.
Yeah, can't have the kids learning about other cultures now. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? Bad.
It's apparently to make it more suited for an American audience, since we Americans love jelly donuts and sandwiches, but it's still a bit weird. There's a lot of banned Pokemon episodes
Just
too,
let them
which
learn
I
about
guess
things.
Counts as censorship. However, I mainly want to focus on
Porygon did nothing wrong.
instances where the episode was released outside of Japan and also altered in some way, like how in the very first episode of the anime, Misty slaps Ash, but that was cut out in the English dub.
Wait.
In the third episode of the anime, another instance where Misty slaps Ash was also cut out in the dub, and mostly just instances of Misty hitting Brock or Ash were just cut in the original anime.
Well, to be fair, yeah, no, I agree. You shouldn't hit people. I think I can get behind that. Hitting is bad.
Most of the censored episodes for the Pokemon anime came early on, typically between the first and third generations, but the third generation of Pokemon had some really weird ones. For example, in one episode of the Advanced Generation saga, James and Max had their head catch on fire from Torchic trying to go for the Ember attack, which was cut out from the dub for being too violent.
I mean, Ash gets set on fire literally like every other episode and falls from massive heights and gets electrocuted and gets ice blasted and hit with every single move under the rainbow. Poor Ash, he's like a punching bag.
Out of water, a Carvana is seen hitting Ash in the back of the head, which was also cut out in the dub. There is also an episode that depicts a Poliwrath slapping Jessie from Team Rocket, and you can see red spots on her cheek in the Japanese version from the slaps. This was of course seen as being too violent and was cut from the English dub in the United States. However, they actually put that scene back in for the Pokemon TV releases that you could still watch on the app. And
There's someone over at the Pokemon company was like, fuck Jessie. She needs a slap.
those were just some weird forms of Pokemon.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Well, guys, make sure that you subscribe to Papa C. His link is in the description. He makes fantastic Pokemon-related videos. Make sure you subscribe to Patterrz if you haven't already.